The contractor set down his clipboard, looked her straight in the eye, and said, "Ma'am, with all due respect, you'd be throwing your money into a hole." She glanced at the man beside her. His jaw was tight, and for the first time in 3 months, she saw something flicker across his face that looked like doubt. They'd already put down the deposit, signed the papers, told their families. The house was theirs, or what was left of it. A 1912 Victorian on the edge of foreclosure. Peeling paint, sagging porch. Foundation, as the inspector called, significant. Everyone said they were crazy. Her sister, his brother, the bank officer who processed the loan, with a look that said your funeral. But they'd seen something no one else did. Or at least they thought they had. Now, standing in the gutted living room with exposed beams and a floor that creaked like a warning, she wasn't sure anymore. The contractor was still talking. Something about rot, load-drying walls, costs that would triple. She stopped listening, because all she could hear was the voice in her head whispering, "What if we made a mistake we can't undo?" That was the moment everything quietly began to unfold. This is a golden heart story for anyone who's ever bet everything on something everyone else called impossible. Before we continue, tell me in the comments, have you ever believed in something no one else could see? Her name was Diana, 49, recently retired from nursing after 26 years. Not because she wanted to, because her body gave her no choice. 3 herniated discs, chronic pain. The kind that makes you feel older than you are. She'd spent her whole life taking care of other people. And when she finally stopped, she realized she had no idea who she was. Owen was 54, an architect who hadn't designed anything in 7 years. After his firm dissolved during the recession, he'd taken a job drafting floor plans for a big commercial developer. Steady paycheck, no creativity, no soul. He told himself it was temporary. That was in 2018. They met at a community meeting about a historic preservation project. Diana had wandered in by accident, thought it was a yoga class. Owen was there because he'd been asked to consult. She sat in the back, he stood at the front. And when he started talking about the bones of old buildings, the craftsmanship, the intention, the life in them, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Awake. Afterward, she approached him. "You really believe that old buildings have souls?" He smiled, tired but real. "I think they hold the people who loved them." "Yeah, that's a nice thought." "It's a costly one," he said. "No one wants to pay for nice thoughts anymore." She laughed. And he asked if she wanted to get coffee. 6 months later, they were standing in front of the house. The realtor had been hesitant to even show it to them. "It's been sitting for 2 years," she'd said. "The last buyer walked away after the inspection. It needs a well. Everything." But the moment Diana stepped onto the porch, cracked and rotted as it was, she felt it. That pull. Owen saw it too. The lines, the proportions, the way the light came through the colored glass above the door. "It's a masterpiece," he whispered. Diana looked at him. "It's a disaster." "Same thing," he said. And somehow that made sense. They made an offer that night. Low, the only number they could afford. The bank approved them barely. Owen's brother called him an idiot. Diana's daughter said, "Mom, you can't even climb stairs without pain. What are you thinking?" But they signed anyway. Because for the first time in years, they both felt like they were choosing something. Not just surviving. Choosing. The first week, they just walked through it, room by room. Oh, and took measurements, made sketches. Diana sat on the floor in what used to be the kitchen and cried. Not sad tears. Something else. "I don't know why I'm doing this," she said, laughing through it. Owen sat beside her. Me neither. They stayed there for an hour, in a house with no heat, no working plumbing, and a roof that leaked in for places, and it felt like home. But reality came fast. The contractor recommended by a friend walked through with them 3 days later. He didn't say much, just took notes, shook his head a lot. When he finally gave them the estimate, Owen went pale. That's more than we paid for the house. That's what it'll take to make it livable, the contractor said, and that's assuming we don't find more damage once we open up the walls. Diana's stomach dropped. What if we did some of it ourselves? The contractor looked at her. Ma'am, no offense, but this isn't a you-do project. This is structural, electrical, plumbing. You need licensed professionals, or you're going to hurt yourself, or worse. Owen's voice was quiet. So what are you saying? The contractor sighed. I'm saying you'd be throwing your money into a hole. That night, they sat on the porch, silent. The street was empty. No streetleted. Just them and the house. Maybe he's right, Diana said finally. Owen didn't answer. Owen, I heard you. We can't afford this, even if we max out everything. I know. She looked at him. His hands were shaking. We made a mistake, she whispered. And he didn't argue. Diana couldn't sleep. At 2 a.m., she got up, drove back to the house. She didn't know why. Just needed to be there. She sat on the front steps in the dark. And that's when she saw it. A car pulled up. An older woman got out. 70s maybe, silver hair, wool coat. She walked slowly up the sidewalk. Stopped when she saw Diana. Oh, the woman said. I'm sorry. I didn't think anyone would be here. Diana stood. It's okay. I'm the new owner. The woman's face softened. You bought it? Yeah. The woman stared at the house. I grew up here, she said quietly. Her name was Ruth. She'd lived in the house until she was 18. My parents built it, she said. Well, my father designed it. My mother chose every detail. The tile, the glass, even the way the stairs curved. She smiled. They poured everything into this place. It was supposed to be their forever home. Diana's chest tightened. What happened? Ruth's smile faded. My father died, suddenly. Heart attack. I was 12. She looked down. My mother couldn't keep it. We moved in with my aunt. She sold it a year later. I've driven by it every few years. Ruth said. Watched it fall apart. Watched people buy it and give up. I kept thinking someone will love it again. Someone will see what it was. She looked at Diana. Is that you? Diana's throat closed. I don't know. Everyone's telling us to walk away. Ruth nodded slowly. Everyone told my mother that too. After my father died, that she should sell, move on, start over. What did she do? She tried. She regretted it every day for the rest of her life. Ruth reached into her purse, pulled out an old photograph. Black and white, a family on the porch. A man, a woman, a little girl. That's them, Ruth said. That's us. Diana stared at the image. The porch was pristine. The paint was fresh. The garden was full. It was loved, Ruth whispered, and it can be again. She handed Diana the photo. Keep it. Maybe it'll remind you what you're fighting for. And then she left. Diana showed Owen the photo the next morning. Told him about Ruth. He held the photograph like it was fragile. We can't afford this, he said again. I know. We're going to have to do most of it ourselves. I know. He looked at her. You're back. I'll be careful. Diana. Owen, I know, but I need to try. He was quiet. Then he nodded. Okay. They started small. Cleared the debris. Tore out the rotted wood. Owen taught himself plumbing from library books. Diana sanded floors on her hands and knees, stopping every 20 minutes to stretch. Some days, she could barely move. Owen would find her sitting on the floor, crying from frustration. He never told her to stop. He just sat with her. They worked in silence most days. But it wasn't empty. There was something meditative about it. The rhythm of the work. The slow transformation. One wall at a time. One board. One nail. Owen found old blueprints in the attic. Original plans. Hand-drawn. Signed by Ruth's father. He spread them out on the floor. Diana, look at this. The detail was extraordinary. Every measurement, every angle. He loved this place, Owen said. Diana touched the faded ink. So do we. Months passed. They ate dinner on the porch most nights. Sandwiches, takeout. Talked about what each room would become. Laughed at their mistakes. There were a lot of them. A pipe that burst. A wall they took down that they shouldn't have. A window that cracked the day after they installed it. But they kept going. One night, Owen said, I forgot what this felt like. What? Making something. With my hands, something that matters. Diana leaned her head on his shoulder. Me too. Then the roof collapsed. Not all of it. Just a section over the back bedroom. They'd known it was bad. But they thought they had time. Owen stood in the rain, staring up at the hole. Water pouring in. Diana beside him. We're done, he said. His voice was flat. We can't fix this. We don't have the money. We don't have the skill. We're done. Diana couldn't speak. Because he was right. The insurance agent came out. Took photos. Shook his head. This is precising damage. We can't cover it. What does that mean? Diana asked. It means you're on your own. That night, Owen packed a bag. Where are you going? My brother's. I need to think. Owen. I can't do this anymore, Diana. His voice broke. I thought we could save it. I thought we could make it work. But we're breaking ourselves for a house that's already gone. It's not gone. Look around. He gestured at the water damage. The sagging ceiling. The walls they'd barely started. We failed. And he left. Diana sat in the ruins. Alone. She thought about Ruth. About her mother, who left and regretted it. She thought about Owen. About the way his hand shook when he drew. The way he smiled when a piece of wood fit perfectly. She thought about herself. The years she spent in pain. The years she spent giving. And she realized. This house wasn't just a house. It was proof. Proof that broken things could be loved. Proof that you could choose to fight for something, even when it hurt. Proof that she was still here. If this story reminds you of someone you lost, or almost lost, share it with them. She called Owen. Come back. Diana. Please, just come back. Owen came back. They didn't talk about it. They just got to work. Diana called Ruth. Told her about the roof. Ruth showed up the next day with a check. It's not much, she said, but it's what my mother left me. I think she'd want it to go here. Diana cried. We can't take this. You're not taking it. You're finishing what my parents started. They hired help for the roof. A small crew, local. Did the rest themselves. Slowly. Painfully. Beautifully.